Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei VTalk, dem Videopodcast der Werteinitiative rund um das jüdische Leben in Deutschland. Mein Name ist Antonia Yamin und ich werde Sie durch diese Sendung heute führen. Da unsere Gäste aus Israel kommen, wird dieses VTalk auf Englisch stattfinden. On October 7th, 2023, Hamas terrorists launched a brutal attack on Israel. In addition to hundreds of deaths, numerous civilians, men, women, children, and elderly people were kidnapped from their homes, from their beds, wearing pajamas, from a party festival. Families were torn apart, their loved ones taken to Gaza. Since then, these hostages have been living in uncertainty, along with their families who are trapped between fear, hope, and despair. Today we have with us two guests who know this horror firsthand, two relative members of hostages who are being kept in Gaza over a year. Our guest, Shachar Ohel, is the uncle of Alon Ohel, a talented young jazz pianist who was kidnapped from the Nova-Festival. He was there to dance, to celebrate life. We are also joined by Liran Berman, the older brother of twin brothers Gali and Ziv Berman, who were kidnapped during a Hamas attack on Kibbutz Kfar Aza. The 26-year-old twins were taken from their home and have been held in Gaza ever since. Shachar and Liran, thank you for joining us today. I will start with the fact that in both cases, also Alon and Gali and Ziv, you got signs of life just recently, last month in the last hostage deal. What can you tell us about the condition of your loved ones just now, their mental, their physical state?
At the 8th of February 2025, six weeks ago, Or Levi and Eli Sharabi released from captivity. And Saturday morning, in the evening, we got a call from them. And
immediately after the release?
Immediately, yes. They knew that they must call us immediately. We got a call from them, and we received two messages from them. The first one is a sign of life, that Alon is surviving. The second message is that Alon is in a critical condition. He lost his eyesight in his right eye, and there is a danger to his eyesight in the other eye. He lost about 50% of his body weight, and we knew immediately that we can't imagine anymore good things. We need to get him out immediately.
Did Alon had any message to you? To the family?
They knew everything about us, everything. Dates, hobbies, everything. They told us, to every member of our family, they told something about us that he wanted us to know.
That he's thinking about you.
Yeah. Details, and they told us that they know everything about us. They kept talking to each other the whole time. They have been together since November 2023, 40 meters underground.
Wow.
In a little room, something about 6 meters square, keeping each other sane.
Comfort also, yeah. When we talk about Gali and Ziv, the first sign of life was in November 2023.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you didn't hear anything for over a year,
Yeah.
and you get another sign of life just last month.
Yeah.
But do you know what their condition is?
As you said, our first sign of life was from the first hostage exchange deal in November 2023. A few of the hostages saw them in the tunnels. Then, for over a year, we fought for their lives with a belief that they are alive, but we knew nothing. Only when the first phases of this second deal, starting in January, end of January, we got a second sign of life from both of them. But we still, I said yesterday to someone who asked me, I'm privileged to know that my brothers are alive without any video or confirmation how they look like. So I can imagine what my brothers look like. It's a privilege because I have knowledge that they are alive, but nothing other than that. So I can imagine what they look like right now. I heard what Shachar said about how Alon is looking like and how he suffered, but I don't know this information.
It's interesting what you say, because I can imagine hearing also mothers and fathers. So many people say that when Hamas is publishing these terrible videos, they say from on the one side, it's terrible to see our loved ones because they don't look like they looked when they were here or in Israel. But from the other hand, it's the first time we can see them again.
Yes. We didn't get a video from Hamas. I hope, on the one hand, I hope we will never get one because they will get out before. On the other side, on the other hand, I do want to see how they look like. For over a year and a half now, I haven't seen my two little brothers. Not in a video, not by eyesight of other person. I don't know how they look like right now, their condition, if they got hurt. I don't know anything. I know that they are alive.
I can add that when Eli Sharabi saw Alon's picture, he didn't recognize him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he got used to how he's look now in the tunnels, and he cannot connect between the picture and Alon's right now.
I want to take you back to the 7th of October. If you can tell us a bit more about how your loved ones were abducted, and also tell us when you actually realized that your loved ones are being kidnapped into Gaza, because there was a lot of chaos at that time. People didn't know, are they in Gaza, are they dead?
My entire family lives in Kfar Aza. I'm the only one who doesn't live in Kfar Aza. And we were supposed to be in Kfar Aza on October 7, together with my two little kids. Thanks to COVID-19, we didn't come to Kfar Aza. We stayed at home. And we lost, on October 7, we lost connection with my two little brothers around 9:30 and 10 in the morning. Later, we found out that the kidnapping took place between 10 and 10 and a half, something like this. This is like a half hour of the timeline. My parents got rescued between midnight of Saturday and Sunday, and Idan, my middle brother, got rescued on Sunday afternoon. And then we met together. I joined them in Kibbutz Bet Govrin, where my aunt lived. They went to my aunt. I joined them on Tuesday, and for 11 days we waited for an answer.
You didn't know for 11 days?
Gali and Ziv were considered missing for 11 days. The fighting in Kfar Aza only ended on Tuesday evening. The last terrorist in Kfar Aza was killed on Tuesday evening. So 4 days from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, only on Tuesday the fighting ended in Kfar Aza. So you had to search through the bodies, and there was a complete chaos in Kfar Aza.
Today we also know that one of your brothers tried to save or to be with Emily Damari that just came back.
In the morning we had an audio of Gali speaking with our mother. He texted that Emily, who were kidnapped together with them, with both of them. She texted him in the morning that she's afraid and if he can come be with her. So he took a kitchen knife. He was so naive in the morning. Nobody realized what's going on. We had another audio with Ziv and my mother that she's waking him up and telling him, close the door, lock everything. There is a breach of terrorists inside the kibbutz, inside Israel. Lock everything, and he's telling her that he smells smoke from his room. So Gali took a kitchen knife with his naivety in the morning. He went to Emily, and we have a selfie of them together in her bed in her safe room. We know from intelligence how they were kidnapped. Gali together with Emily from her room, and they burned Ziv's room from the outside to drive him out. His option was go out and be taken or be burned inside his apartment. So we went out, so they took all three of them together in Emily's car. And like I said, for 11 days we knew nothing. And when the intelligence informed us that they were kidnapped, it was the better out of the two options. We were, in a surreal way, we were happy.
That's so crazy.
That is crazy. It is crazy because the other option is that we have to bury my two little brothers.
Yeah. What do you know about Alon's abduction? I mean, he is at the Nova-Festival dancing, living his life.
Yeah, Alon arrived at the Nova-Festival at 5:30, just an hour before the massacre began. When the rockets attack started, he and his friends tried to flee and got into a bomb shelter. The same bomb shelter that Aner Shapira and Hirsch Goldberg have been. Alon sent his last message to his parents at 8 a.m. And now we know that moments later, the terrorists threw grenades inside that bomb shelter.
Do you know what this message said?
He told them that he is okay and he is in a bomb shelter and they are just waiting for
the army to come and rescue them.
Yeah, they didn't know that there are terrorists outside, so they just waited for the rockets attack to end
stop.
and to go back home. The grenades have killed dozens of people inside the bomb shelter, and then Alon was taken alive from there. In that Saturday, 7th of October in the evening, we got a message that Alon was taken alive from his friend, one of his friends that have been also inside that bomb shelter, Itamar Shapira. Called us. He got shot there, but he survived. And the first thing that he have been doing when he can is to call us and to tell us that Alon is taken alive from there.
Can you try and describe this feeling of knowing that your loved ones are in Gaza, a place which is horrifying, but also is not so far away from Israel? I mean, we are talking about a few kilometers. It's not as if you can just go inside and save your loved ones. But
we tried. We asked for. We haven't entered into Gaza, but we asked. From Gali's apartment in Kfar Aza, you can see the eastern neighborhood of the Gaza city. 800 meters until the border, until the fence, and 2 kilometers into Gaza city from his windows of his apartment. So it's so close. Every time that I'm in Kfar Aza and I'm in his room, looking into Gaza and can imagine seeing them there, both of them. Like I said, in a surreal sort of way, it was. We were breaking when they informed us, and then we pulled ourselves together, the entire family, and said, okay, now we need a plan of action. We planned our next step. We divided parts of what we are doing among ourselves, and we set on a mission. Like I said, in a surreal way, it was the better out of the two options. So we were crushed, but then we pulled ourselves together. It took a couple of hours to pull ourselves together and set on this mission.
I mean, after so many months, there are still people around the world that try to downplay the cruelty of Hamas. There are people, an organization, and even media outlets that refuse to call Hamas a terror organization. What do you want to say to those people?
I think everything is on the web. Everything is on the web. I have three Telegram groups with all the videos of October 7. All the videos, the GoPro that Hamas used, the Facebook lives that they did. I have 3 Telegram groups with all the evidence. people who say that this didn't happen, or it is Israeli propaganda to destroy Gaza, or these people, I can't change their mind. They have hatred toward Israel, toward the Jewish people. I'm targeting the people on the fence that are questioning why Israel is in Gaza. We don't know, we want to know, we want to be informed. People who hate us will hate us. And I don't want to deal with them. I'm dealing with the people that are questioning why is there a reason. And I say to them, all the evidence you need is on the web. And if you can't find it, ask for it. There is a lot of people who can supply you what happened on October 7. And the easiest answer is that on October 6, there was a ceasefire. There was a ceasefire. And more than 100,000 Gazans worked in Israel on a yearly basis. We invite them to work. Some of the people who got kidnapped even, like the late Oded Lifshitz, he was a peace activist who drove Gazans from Gaza to hospitals in Israel. We wanted peace with our neighbors. We wanted, peace is a big word, but we wanted quiet. We want each neighborhood will live peacefully and prosper. This is why we left Gaza in 2005. People need to remember, Israel didn't control Gaza. And Gaza has a border with Egypt. It's not just Israel is closing the borders. And people don't want to be educated. I think this is the main problem. People who shout against the pro-Palestinian protest, it is a problem of miseducation. Because all the information is there to see. The ceasefire on October 6, the Gazan people who worked in Israel, the peace activists who were kidnapped and killed, and everything is there.
You just mentioned the people who go out on the streets and shout, "Free, free Palestine." And I mean, it's something we also see here in Europe. It's something we see here in Germany. So many people, also young people, we see it in the universities around the world. People that come out and they fight for the Palestinians, but they forget what happened on October 7th. How do you explain that?
I think we are in a losing battle on social media. There are 3 billion Muslims around the world, 20 million Jews, maybe a few 10,000 million supporters. It's a losing battle. We can do our best, but we can't fight the anti-Israel, anti-Jewish propaganda on social media. We can't. It is a battle that we lost already, with 3 billion and a lot of money behind them. There are a lot of money going to this propaganda. We can tell and shout the truth and know that we are on the right side and educate people who come to a real conversation and not to shout at us. I think the university, the free speech curriculum of you can say whatever you want, even if it's a complete lie, it's a big mistake. This is what universities were founded on, free speech and liberal ideas, but when there is a propaganda involved, it's very dangerous. And a lot of young minds, people who will be the next voters in the next elections and the next generation of leaders are being lied to or propaganda against and being brainwashed. And this is something we need to fight,
But how is the big question?
How? Because even the mainstream media try to be as neutral as possible. And I ask, how can you try to be neutral? Okay, it's your job, but what happened on October 7, it's not a neutral ground. There weren't freedom fighters coming to liberate Palestine. They come to kill and murder everyone they can find.
What do you say to these international forums? Because, I mean, it's not only these young people at the universities or the people going out on the streets. I mean, also the UN is downplaying the terrors of Hamas. You met Guterres.
Yeah. I was in two delegations to New York. We met with him twice. In one opportunity, I had the privilege to speak in front of him. And I told him, it was just after the president of Iran died in a helicopter crash, and the entire UN, including Guterres, stood in a moment of silence for the butcher of Tehran. And we were there 2 weeks later, after they stood in 1 minute of silence, and I asked him, how are you and the UN standing in a moment of silence for the butcher of Tehran, the men who stand in the nation that facilitated October 7th? They trained Hamas, they funded Hamas, they gave the green light for the attack. How can you stand for a moment of silence?
What did he say?
This is a custom, and every president of every country, we are obligated to do it. And I said to him, you are standing in 1 minute of silence for the head of the snake that killed 1,200 people in Israel and kidnapped 250. You are standing in moment of silence. And you can't say that you want to bring them all home and do it at the same time. You can't.
Unfortunately, we see these reactions from so many people, as I said, also international forums. You come here to Germany, to Europe, you have traveling to the US. What is your expectation this time from the German government? Can Germany do more to release the hostages?
We are asking for more acts. We got a huge hug, very much sympathy, but we are seeking for more acts. We think that there are things to do about money, about Qatar, about Egypt, and Germany have the power to do more things to bring them all home.
When you see the German politicians, I mean, the foreign minister, for example, of Germany, Annalena Baerbock, or the ex-foreign minister, I need to add, was in Israel, I mean, for more than 10 times. She also met with a lot of hostage families. But on the other hand, she's also always talking about the Palestinians' rights and about getting support into Gaza. Do you feel that the German government is sincere when it comes to helping with this cause of bringing your loved ones home?
I think so. Gali and Ziv and Alon are German citizens. We are also German citizens. And I do believe that the German government is doing what it can, but it can do much more. I think we are seeing the US government, what they are doing for their citizens. And of course, the United States are the main mediators, and they are working together with Qatar and Egypt in this deal. But we expect the German government to do more for its citizens. And we hope, I'm saying it without the knowledge, but I'm saying it, we hope that they are fighting for them dual nationality as much as they would fight if a German person was in the Nova-Festival, who came to enjoy a party from Berlin, and we hope that they would fight for this X person as much as they are fighting for Alon, or Gali and Zivi.
I think that's something that we as Israelis, we feel it because when our people are being kidnapped, we know them by heart, we know their names, we know their stories. We are such a small country that these are all our brothers and sisters. And I think that for Germany, which has so many millions of people, they can't even understand like the attachment we have to people we never really personally knew. I don't know Alon, I don't know Gali and Ziv, but I feel as if I know them, and I feel that I need them to come home before any one of us can actually heal.
Yeah. I think, and Shachar, correct me if I'm wrong, this is one of the reasons that we are going on this delegation and coming here to Germany specifically, to tell everyone that there is the number 59 this is a wrong use of the number. We can't continue to use numbers. We need to put names and stories
And faces.
Behind the numbers. This is why we came. This is why Shachar is telling Alon's story and putting like the humane part of it. He's a pianist, and Gali and Ziv are a light technician who work with musicians all over the world. And this is why we are coming here. The 59 is the number that you put on newspaper, and people forget a minute later. But if they know the stories and they are getting connected to the stories, this is why we are coming here, to tell the stories and to put pictures and names
and
faces behind those stories, and people can connect more.
In these delegations, you also meet a lot of people from the Jewish communities. What is your expectation from the Jewish diaspora, or more specifically, how can we, Jews in Germany, Jews in Europe, Jews in America, actually help to get them back home? Can we do that?
I think that it's connected to the things that Liran said just right now. We want Gali and Ziv and Alon picture face on the newspaper. We want everyone to see them, to know that they are still there, and we need to get them out. And this is the way. It's a matter of priority. If we will succeed to put this issue in the highest priority, then I think that things can move on.
Like Shachar said, we are here to pressure everyone that this is the main issue that blocks the future. This is the main issue that blocks the future. We can't talk about the day after. We can't talk about peace, or I don't know what word it will be. I heard yesterday, and this is something I'm taking with me. We are the key for the future of the region. Only when all the hostages will be back, the door for the future will be open. And this is why you're coming to the delegation, to say to everyone, we all want an end to the suffering of everyone. Israelis, of course, and the real uninvolved civilian in Gaza. We want the end of suffering, and the only way it can happen is when the hostages are coming back, all of the hostages. We can't leave anyone behind. We know that 24 are presumed to be alive, and they have their whole future ahead of them, and they need to be back yesterday. But every minute that they are there, it's a risk for their life. I think what we are afraid of the most is, while we are speaking here, we can be on the other side of the families. We can be part of the deceased families, and we don't want it, and we don't have the privilege to stop.
Every minute is important.
Every minute is important, but the key to open the door is only when the last hostages will come back.
Shachar and Liran, I want to thank you for being here today. I know it's not easy to talk about this subject time and time again. Thank you for sharing the story. Thank you for sharing your emotions. I also want to cry out from this studio here in Berlin and say, bring them home now. And Am Israel Chai. Vielen Dank auch euch, liebe Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer, für Ihr Interesse und fürs Dabeisein. Wenn Sie mehr über die Werteinitiative wissen wollen und spannende Gespräche wie diese nicht mehr verpassen möchten, dann folgen Sie uns auf den sozialen Medien. Schauen Sie auf unsere Webseite oder abonnieren Sie unseren Newsletter. Bis zum nächsten Mal.